Good morning. I first came to Romania in 2011 because a friend of mine said, while I was making a film for Travel Channel on Scotland, come to Romania and see what Scotland used to look like 500 years ago, before we shot the last wolf and cut down all the forest. And I came out to Romania and I just thought, wow, this is unbelievably beautiful. It's unspoiled. It's incredible. I'm a bit wiser now. I've realized that this unspoiled forest is being cut down at a rate of 3 hectares per hour, and this landscape that we all take for granted is being destroyed on a daily basis as concrete and cement just dominate ancient wooden villages. And it's changing. It's changing. It's progress. It happens everywhere. We did it. The French did it. The Spanish have done it. Everyone has done it in Europe except you guys. Except you guys, right? Because you've still got pretty much intact the last great mixed forest left in Europe. You've got the last historic landscape that isn't spoiled, right? We've spoiled it. We've trashed it. Everyone else has. So we're all looking at Romania and going, Prince Charles is saying, we've got to come to Transylvania. It's amazing, And he said it twice on 2 of my documentaries. And everyone comes. They come here because everyone's aware of the fact that in a very short space of time, if we don't do something about it, it will go the same way as every other country in Europe. And that's what I'm trying to stop. So I don't know if you've seen any of our films. Yeah, there we go. This is us. Wild Carpathia, first one, 2011. Wild Carpathia 4, United Nations, exporting Romania. I call us the unofficial tourist board because we're trying to promote Romania in the right way. And it's an easy sell, actually. It's a very easy sell. I don't understand why the tourist board don't do a better job of it, to be honest, because, you have so much here that is incredibly beautiful and special. So this is who we are. 8 years of experience. We've screened our films in 110 countries. Our films are now being watched in schools, and they're study aid at universities. Basically, yeah, that's all just a bit of fluff, so I'm going to move on from that. There we go. Right, part 1. I wanted to call this Romania's contempt for its heritage, but I thought that was being a bit mean. So I thought, caring for one's history, right? It shows sophistication and a willingness to learn from our history if we look after it. The whole Ceausescu thing, I mean, come on, I don't know how many of you here actually lived through that, right? But it was all about, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was all about out with the old, in with the new. It's like, let's get rid of the past, Bunica's making textiles, let's build concrete, let's start again to make it super modern. And it's just like you lost an awful lot of your past during that time. There was some good things. I mean, People's Palace. The metro system, that was good. But there was an awful lot of things that weren't good. And it was all about just having no pride in your history and your heritage. And I see this now. I see kids who are wanting to buy a new car and knock down the old house and put up a new one. I see villages in the Maramureș where, they just want to get rid of the old wooden house and put something cement and concrete up in its place. And what's happening, look at this, is this is the Imperial Spa in Baile Herculane. Was, in its day, the grandest spa resort in the whole of Europe. Yeah, look at it now. This is what we filmed for Flavors of Romania. It's falling down. I mean, it is literally coming down as I speak. And this is probably one of the most important architectural buildings in Eastern Europe. And it's going to be lost in a year or two because the government don't want to spend the money. Why did the government not want to spend the money on patrimony and heritage? Very simple. Because the people don't care enough about the past. If there was enough pressure on the Ministry of Culture, for example, to make funds available to save buildings like this, they'd be forced to do it. But actually, people don't really care enough. So there are hundreds of castles, hundreds of ancient churches that are on the verge of collapse because we don't really care enough about it. Here's another one, Rakosh. Anyone know Rakosh? Anyone been to Rakosh? It's great. The local people got some money to try and restore it, yeah? So they did a great job, but I don't know if you can see there's lots of cement there. What happens with an old building, if you stick a load of cement all over it, as you can see from Rupeia Castle, it kind of doesn't really work because it cools down and heats up at a different pace to the old lime render. So it actually destroys a building faster because you're not restoring it in the right way. So it's like, yeah, just stick some concrete on it. It's not great. You can see it's very unfinished. If you're going to try and repair something, do it properly or don't do it at all. That's my point. These buildings represent the potential for tourism in these rural areas for the future for Romania, okay? There's so many of these buildings. If we save them, if we protect these old villages, then we have a kind of a model for the future. We have a template, if you like. But if we take them down, if we let them fall down, then how are these rural areas going to make money? Oh yeah, logging. Yeah, logging. They can make money from logging. Until you cut down all the forest, which I will get to in a minute. But there's two things here. There's nature and nurture, or culture. And these are the two unique selling points of Romania. If you lose those two things, you cut down trees that take 200 years to grow, or you let monuments fall down that take 1,000 years of history and they crumble to dust, what the hell are people how are they going to make money in these small villages and these rural areas in Romania? Whereas if we get it right, sustainably manage the forest and, and protect these buildings like Rakosh, do it properly, then you have a sustainable future in perpetuity for all those people that live there, right? You sustainably manage the forest, people want to come, they want to enjoy it, they want to see it, you come and you restore these buildings in the right way, tourism will flourish, people have an income. That's the point here. This is what I'm trying to get to. So, let me try. Yeah, that's Rakosh. That's the view of the community. It's not a bad job. It's just not great, and it's a bit dangerous as well. If you walk around, you've got to be very careful. You don't have health and safety here, do you? We have a lot of that in England. And it's like, well, you're an idiot. If you walked over that and didn't, and you fell in, tough. It's up to you. In England, it's like, oh dear, no, I'm sorry, you can't go anywhere near that. No, oh, no, sorry. They put a big ring around it. They put a fence around it, won't they? Okay, so Histria. Let's take Histria Fortress. There was no fence in Histria Fortress. There's an amazing mosaic in Histria Fortress. It's 3,000 years old. Yeah? I was filming a bit of Flavors of Romania with Danny O'Till. We were doing an interview, trying to sound important, and we were wandering around Histria Fortress. We stepped down some stairs, bang, straight onto this mosaic, right? Little squares, like huge, amazing angels, cherubs, everything. I looked at it, I thought, we're standing on a 3,000-year-old mosaic. That can't be right. Kids can take little squares home with them when they visit the fortress. It's like, I like that, I'll take that, put that in my pocket. Anywhere else in Europe, it would be under fucking glass. You'd be walking over it, looking down at it. You wouldn't be like going, this is ridiculous, people. This is your fucking patrimony. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but this is your patrimony. This is your heritage, and it's getting trashed every single day. So, this is what we're trying to do. We need to wake people up about this. Right, okay. Oi, I've still got 5 minutes. That's my house. That's where I live. I didn't just do this to show off, because it's actually kind of like a medieval hovel. The livestock used to be downstairs and the people would sleep upstairs. But I built on at the end, and I can't begin to tell you how hard that was. I asked the local council for planning permission to extend the cottage. They said, nah, sorry, it's 500 years old, no, you're not allowed to. I said, why? They said, well, it's a genuine medieval hovel. So thanks very much, but my washing machine is in a shed, and the toilet is an asbestos shack. I'd really like to get rid of the black mold. Please, please, please. So anyway, in the end, the whole planning committee from Winchester had to come out, look at it, and make a decision. That's how hard it was for me to extend my cottage, to just build that little bit up there. As opposed to Romania, where you can kind of build anything, can't you? Anything, wherever you want. It's fine. You've got a medieval village like Breb, right, full of wooden houses, but we can't see the wooden houses anymore, can we? Because they've been eclipsed by concrete and cement and massive guest houses. People have sold their farms. They've sold their land to build these huge pensions in a wooden village. Guess what? You can't see the wooden village anymore. Tourists are no longer wanting to go to these places because there is no wooden village. There's a lot of very nice Swiss-style chalets where you could stay if you were to see a wooden village that no longer exists because they've taken it down. Sorry, it makes me very cross. So what we need to do is planning, right? Planning. That's why I put this up. I had a hard time getting planning permission. So should everybody in Romania in historic villages. I'm not being a Nazi about this. Please just put an appropriate planning permission in and let's just make sure that it actually is in keeping and sympathetic with the landscape. That way people will continue to want to go. They won't decide that somewhere else is better. Right, I'm going to rush through this. Raven's Nest. I don't know if any of you know this place. It's taken and restored ancient wooden houses and they're now available for tourists to come and stay. It's incredible. I mean, look at it. Wood-fired jacuzzi, decking. You know, you can have a sundown. You can have a mojito and watch the sunset. It's like being in South Africa without the elephants. It's amazing. So we got that. I put that up there. Okay, part 2, natural heritage. I've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to race through this. We all know this. We all know, and it doesn't need me to keep saying it. Look at it. Honestly, 3 hectares per hour across the country. You know, people complain about bears. We had a lot of stories about bears recently. Oh, bears are attacking people. Of course they're attacking people. We're destroying their habitats. They got nowhere to go. These bears, I mean, seriously, it's like the animals, the wildlife, there's nowhere for them to go because we're building more and more roads, more and more houses. We're cutting down the forest at a rate of knots. And they go, oh, well, we've got to shoot some bears because we've destroyed their habitat, so now we're going to start shooting them as well, and that's perfectly okay. No problem at all. Okay, so right, more than half of Europe's old growth forest habitat for 2/3 of its apex predators, you know, countless small terrain. 6 rangers killed in recent years, not by bears, by mafia. Countless more threatened and bribed, families threatened, homes threatened. This is what's going on your doorstep. It's not just about conservation, patrimonial, it's about this. And there won't be anything left soon, so we really need to get on with it and try to stop it. Right? This is corruption, so I'm gonna whiz through this because I've now got 1 minute left. God, time flies when you're having fun. This is Breb. This is the wooden village of Breb. Look at it, brilliant. Lots of wooden houses, amazing. Yeah, it feels like stepping back in time, doesn't it? Moving on. Right, what can you do? Right, well, first of all, you can protest. I know it doesn't do an awful lot of good. They don't listen, but it's a start, isn't it? Protest. Get out there and protest. What else can we do? Educate people. The younger generation, this is the future. There are kids still maintaining these wonderful traditions, right? Like the bear dance. You know the bear dance, the song about the bear dance? It's not actually that great. It's like how people used to torture bears and bang drums till they started to dance like this. It's not great. But anyway, it's heritage, and we need to hang on to it. So these are the young generation who are being taught these things, and and they care. And I think that's an amazing thing to do. So, our future is in the hands of the next generation. If they don't care, if they don't save the forest, if they don't care about their patrimony, then this country has had it. It's lost it, okay? Forget it. Last one out, shut the door. So we did a crowdfunding campaign. We gave DVDs to schools. People bought a DVD. We gave one to a school. We match funded them. Educate, teach people about your country. Not about how great it is to go and live in England or Germany or Spain or wherever it is, but how great it is to stay in Romania. I mean, I lived 2/3 of my life in Romania. I've gone the other way. I'm really happy being here. I look at my life in England and I go, whoa, it's such a better life in Romania. I can eat organic food. It's cheaper, to be honest. It's brilliant, it's beautiful. So this is the thing. Make people proud of their country. Educate the kids. And finally, raise awareness, tell people, United Nations is a good start, but tell everybody, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your teachers, tell schools, tell everyone. Get this message out, and then finally, I think, report problems. I'm not saying being a sneak, don't be a supergrass, but if you see someone who's clearly cutting wood where they shouldn't, report them. See someone who's building a concrete house in a beautiful area where they shouldn't be allowed to do it, it's okay to tell people. These are things we have to do to protect these areas. And there's no shame in it. You have to do it. We have to do this. So, make a fuss. If you don't, no one else will care. Celebrate and protect Romania's natural and cultural treasures. Celebrate them. Not just protect them. Let's celebrate them. Let's get everyone involved and have, people to have festivals and, bring the tourists from around the world to see the beauty of Romania. Okay? So that's an important thing. And then finally, I think I got it, ensuring this is my little cliche bit at the end. I thought, how do I end this speech? Ensuring that. Not that. But it's true though, look at that. It's a bridge that never got built with EU funds going nowhere. I'm on a road to nowhere. And we've all seen those. Anyway, thank you for your time.